This Week 7 NFL Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code SGPN.
This is Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
To the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green, with my partner in picks, Ryan, real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Week 7, Sean. Can't believe we're already here. Some would say that we're 7/18 through the schedule.
It's a fair analysis of the regular season, Ryan. I don't know about you, but I plan on discussing playoff picks and the National Football League.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
Did anything strike you as odd this week as you dove into the slate?
No, nothing's odd. Why?
Okay.
Why? This is a great tease. What's odd?
I just felt like I had been here before. Like deja, not quite deja vu, but like I've been here before. I recognize these riddles, and you know, you don't like it when I say that it was quite easy for me to come to conclusions.
Yes.
It was quite easy for me to come to conclusions this week.
Okay.
For the most part, a couple of games are true mental blenders, but
last week was a wild ride for me because we nice hit on the Caleb Williams first touchdown. Kramer hit Caleb Williams and Tyler Algier. I hit Falcons money line. That was an awesome cash. I went 10-5 ATS and I went on a crazy run basically from the afternoon games on through the prime time, sweeping the board. I went 10-5 ATS, but still of the 15 games, I still went 0-3 on my lock. So I don't know what to do. I'm not going to blow up the process. I felt like I saw the board pretty well last week. I liked where I was coming in. I just couldn't identify the locks, which was an annoying place to be in. I felt like we didn't do a good job playing the point spread song. So Ryan, make sure that is queued up. We really have to showcase that at the end of the show, but it was annoying because you look at 10-5 and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to blow up my process, but man, that was annoying that I went 0-3 in the locks.
You don't want to fire James Franklin.
I don't want to fire James Franklin.
I'm talking about your process. Your process is James Franklin. You're going to keep the process.
Yeah. Where are you? Yeah. 10-5.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't win the national championship.
0-3 in the big games, but I'm good.
James Franklin. Yeah. He actually won playoff games. So we talked about in the college episode. Make sure you check the college football picks episode. Great episode. It was, we did a Sister G memorial and everything. So a lot of fun there, but man, I cannot wait. Fun week, jacked up, ready to go, fired up. How you feeling, Ryan?
Oh, I feel great. Like I said, I was going through the process. A lot of my process is just reading the internet.
Okay.
And going through various things, actually taking the time to watch press conferences and get the full context. And I started looking through the matchups, and it's like, well, the information I would have to find for me to not be on this side here is going to be substantial, but let me look anyway. Next game. The information so I just found myself, like, as someone who's bet on football for a long time, we're at that point in the season too. I think this is a put up or shut up kind of week for you and the gambling gods. And so
I think this is an interesting week because there's like a decent sample size of data. There was a couple teams I felt like I was behind on adjusting my take. There was a couple teams I was ahead of. Oh, certainly the Colts I was behind on coming into the season, and then teams like the Raiders. I felt like I pegged them. I even got ahead of them a little bit, and I was in a good spot last week, taking them against the Titans, and that was definitely one of my chase money wise. That was definitely one of my chase plays late. We've been riding the Baker wagon. That's been good. We've been fading teams like the 49ers, so that worked out last week. Maybe a close your eyes special, rare loss for them last week. The trend, but
they tried so hard. That Ravens Rams game was just a mess.
Yeah, and
just a mess.
But I feel like the spirit of the close your eyes special was good. Like they had so many chances. If the Ravens can't just get their shit together and run like a legit goal line play,
the goal line calls.
Seahawks continue to be good on the road, not at home. There's been some stuff that's been pretty interesting,
and they're like a numbers darling too. Sam Darnold, the numbers darling. I bet you O'Connell probably wishes he forked up the $30 million a year or whatever. The very reasonable.
Now he's deciding between injured / soft bench, but don't not actually bench. Don't if you mention that the Vikings are kind of quietly benching JJ McCarthy, that is. The Vikings fans are doing this thing where anyone who has an ankle injury goes, "Oh, sounds like a soft benching," and it's hilarious because the people they're doing with, like Puka Nacua, who probably suffered a similar injury. Puka Nacua is doing everything he can play to play in this England game. Now, even though they have a bye, I kind of don't think Puka Nacua plays, but if anyone's going to be out there, it might be Puka Nacua. No one's talking about taking the long road with Puka Nacua. Sean McVay is not talking about figuring out Puka Nacua's lower body mechanics in the off week. Sean McVay is not saying, "Well, here and we got to work on the lower body mechanics. We're really enjoying our time here in Camden Yard. Guys are getting together. We're taking it one day at a time. We're really building on something. It's easier to make those adjustments after a win, but we got playing a great Jags team."
One-on-one body mechanic sessions between Sean McVay and Puka Nacua, or Kevin O'Connell and JJ. They both work.
JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean it's like I'll continue to. I mean, we'll see how they're very sensitive. I would say the Midwestern Viking fan is very sensitive, and they don't
100%.
They don't like what it. It's not that they don't like that he was benched, or they don't like the idea that he was benched. It's what that means. It's that Kevin O'Connell's.
I mean, if Kevin O'Connell is going to put out an injured Carson Wentz versus JJ McCarthy, who I think that ankle looks pretty good from the video I've seen, that kind of says a lot, doesn't it?
Do you know how jealous Kevin O'Connell must be seeing Brian Dable get to hug and kiss Jackson Dart? He wants that for himself.
But also too, it was a pretty short sample before the injury. I think gave them a good time to be like, all right, let's step back. What reset.
Injury?
Well, I do think he got injured, but I think if he was playing great, we would have seen him sooner. So that's why it's like the Vikings fans and Kevin O'Connell can't hide behind the injury.
But his footwork is like the problem. He's working on his lower body mechanics. Like that's the change. No, his mind was his problem was he was looking like a young quarterback who was not processing things when the bullets were flying for real.
All right, Kramer, let's talk about some old quarterbacks. We got the battle of the olds starting off on Thursday Night Football.
Yes. Before we start, Baltimore and Buffalo on bye, two teams that probably could use the week off. I mean, you want to talk about the hilariousness of the AFC and how if you look at the preseason projections versus what the standings look like now,
who's the best team in the AFC, Ryan?
Well, by record, you have 2 1-loss teams, the Steelers and the Colts. No one had that even close to their big. I bet you not many people had both those teams even making the playoffs. In their predictions.
I was way off on the Colts, but I did have the Steelers winning the AFC North. So
that's a strong prediction. Anyway,
knock on wood.
Baltimore and Buffalo taking some time. Certainly, I think some people have to look in the mirror and maybe if I'm either one of those teams,
the Bills,
run the damn ball, please.
The Bills are 4-2, but you look at the teams they beat. It's like the
Ravens,
the 1-win Ravens, the 1-win Dolphins, the 0-win Jets. Like this Bills team and the Bills defense is just horrible. Again, big reason why I was on the Falcons. The Bills defense looks horrible and Josh Allen looks bad. It's It's funny because I see a lot of similar, the Eagles algorithms like, oh, why aren't people killing Josh Allen? Josh Allen turned the ball over a bunch, and now Bills fans are defending him. Oh, he needs a 100-yard rusher and James Cook and et cetera, et cetera. I thought,
isn't it funny?
I thought Josh Allen played pretty poorly in that game.
I would say that either Josh Allen played a horrible game, or Atlanta does actually have a defense, which, considering they hired Ulbrich, who completely cratered the Jets defense.
Yeah.
And I was totally reminded of this researching the games this week, but his kid was prank calling draft prospects.
Oh, yes.
And they had to pay a fine. It was not a good start for him, but yeah, either they're good or Josh Allen is trash. Also, we've seen this from the Bills offense before, where they just and Dalton Kincaid being out, clearly he's important to the offense. But yeah, I mean, whatever the Atlanta defense was doing, the rest of the league is just going to copy that. And I'm still convinced Josh Allen banged up or something. Why didn't he take more? He had like 6 carries. He could have done a lot more. He didn't. That's my take.
Kramer calling out Josh Allen. This should be an interesting Thursday night game.
And Colby back at it with his creative kindergarten art designs to go with each team. YouTube.com/sports gambling podcast. Game number 1. The Pittsburgh Steelers on the road at Cincinnati, a little AFC North Thursday night football situation where Sean, the Steelers are laying 5.5 on the road. The red alarm sirens are spinning around in my head. I love Tomlin, but this is the dangerous time with Tomlin. -260 on the money line. Bengals +200 at home. 44 is the total. I don't know if I would say there was a little bit of a spark with Flacco last week, but the players were at least looking like they weren't quitting because Flacco was there, and they even got a pretty impressive effort from the defense, even though it probably credit that more to just the Packers laying flat. And on the other side, I was surprised to see how Pittsburgh has clawed their way up to being a top 5 adjusted sack rate team, which is kind of the one thing you don't want to see if you're this Bengals team, is a pass rush that's going to get home. So this is a very difficult one. I sent you some anti-Tomlin trends earlier too, which I know you generally like to stay positive on the Tomlin trends, but he's not been good on Thursday night. He's not been good on Thursday night against or on the road or against the Bengals. And so I don't know if that's just some witchcraft of the past, but there's too many reasons to not take the Steelers, I think.
Yeah, no, normally we're always we're a Steelers based show. We like Tomlin. But again, when he gets to be too big of a favorite, that's when you have to concern yourself. We took a look at that Browns game, but the Browns game, it was more a fate of the Browns in that third road game, the crazy travel spot, Dylan Gabriel making his second start, etc. I mean, Joe Flacco has played 22 games against the Steelers in his NFL career, which is kind of crazy.
It's a lot of games. And he's been in the division for a while.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. And he's played for every team in the division. Wait, except the Steelers. Very, very interesting. Tomlin, to your point, Ryan, 2-8 straight up in road Thursday night football games. 0-6 in division Thursday night football games. Have not won a road Thursday night football game since 2016. Obviously, you don't play a ton of them. Cam Hayward dubbed it the icy hot bowl. Of course, 2 old quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, rare where he's going to be the younger quarterback in a matchup. And I think if you're quarterbacks in your 40s, having to travel on the short week, I think is a little tough. Our boy Aaron, I'm sure is taking all the right supplements, doing everything he can, but
oh yeah,
I think this is the Bengals Super Bowl. They are a home dog against a division opponent in prime time with a quarterback that can throw the football downfield. Will he have a ton of time to throw it downfield? Maybe not, but I think at least Joe Flacco, he's still at the stage where he's, for the most part, he's willing to stand in there and take a shot. If the Steelers do get up on him, maybe 2 scores, 10 points, that back door is still going to be wide open for Joe Flacco. And again, the Steelers are 15-31 ATS as a road favorite off a win in the Tomlin era. Now this.
Yeah. We did it last week, and it felt dicey. We regretted not locking it up, but still, we knew at our core felt dicey. Yeah, you can't lay the points with Tomlin here, and not really a look ahead, but they do have a primetime game against the Packers next.
I think it might be a look ahead for Rodgers. He is obsessed with the Packers, so I think if anything, that's a nice little thing to add on. It does seem like Trey Hendrickson might be out. What's the latest you've heard on him?
Trade out for trade. No, it's not. I mean, he's one of the many. It seems like we're getting the NBA is infecting our beautiful league, the NFL, but it does seem like there's a lot of trade rumors. No, I mean, I don't. It sounded like Trey Hendrickson was out, like he was not going to make it back.
Didn't seem like he was gonna.
And the counter is that Stewart is gonna make it. So.
Stewart, who has been out, he's back, so maybe that helps the pass rush. But give me the Bengals plus 5.5. This is a kitchen sink game, back against the wall. Kramer.
Yep, and we're gonna be very upset when we went against our beloved Steelers, and Joe Flacco gets killed in the first 2 minutes of this game. Moving on. I believe this is the last game we're playing in London. This time we play in Wembley. Which I'm sorry, Sean. I don't have a difference in the two grass or field handicap here, but we are at Wembley, where Jacksonville does have experience. Sunday morning, 6:30 a.m. on the West Coast. The Rams, who are on a back-to-back road spot here, they of course were practicing in Camden Yards. I'm sure Colby was full rock hard watching football being played in a baseball stadium. Rams are laying 3 here on the road in Jacksonville, which I am calling a true home game. The Jags plus 132 on the money line. Rams minus 152. 44.5 is the total. I mean, they've been over there every year for the past well, I guess they skipped a year. No, they went over the COVID year. Maybe they didn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe they didn't. Either way, from an organizational standpoint, they have the experience. I don't really understand the need to disrespect the Jags at home with this point spread. I think when you look at the way the Jags have played, in some regard, they've beaten themselves maybe more than they've been beaten by the other team. And I think for the Rams, the handicap is simple: is Puka going to play? I think Puka makes this offense go. And I thought at times against Baltimore, who is not good right now, the offense, and maybe they were just flat looking ahead to a game, but the offense did not look as sharp as it has earlier in the season.
Well, we're trying to get things going. Matt was getting the flow going. We're growing as a team, rowing the boat together. I actually, Ryan, you mentioned the coming off a road game into the London game, and that's actually been a favorable spot historically. I don't know how much it factors in, but teams coming off a true road game going overseas, 13-1 straight up, 11-3 ATS, and I think the fact that they are hanging out together in Camden Yards,
road
bonding together as a team, I think does matter. Did you see the Skip Bayless video? Where
he's out of my feed, thankfully.
Well, it was just because people who are in my feed shared it, but Skip Bayless I didn't watch it. I just saw people share the video and clicked around in it. He was upset that Travis Hunter, I guess Travis Hunter chose to get baptized on the game day last Sunday.
Yeah, saw those videos.
And Skip's take was that he was distracted by getting baptized because he's so bored at not playing enough both sides of the ball, which was, I don't know how you could make a 28-minute video about that. It was
28 minutes. One
of the most insane takes I've ever seen. And also, like, whatever religious stuff you want to do, feel free. He didn't think it was a distraction. I'm sure it's just a wild take to have a 28-minute video on that. Just completely wild take. Classic Skip there. But I like this Rams team. I think that was they just beat a close your eyes special, which is a really tough out as we know. They covered as a non-conference road favorite, which to me is a sign of like, damn, this team has their shit together. And yes, if I'm backing the Rams, am I worried about the Puka injury?
Yes.
Yeah, you'd be crazy not to be. He's certainly a huge addition to the offense. I still think this Rams team can move the ball against the Jags. And, if the Jags don't get the turnovers, they're not quite as good defensively. And that's really, they've been leaning on that. I thought Trevor was pretty erratic, his performance last week. I think the Rams defense has been coming together. Loved what I saw out of the Rams. In hindsight, obviously we're on the Ravens, so I didn't love it at the time, but I thought the Rams defensive line is going to get it done. And Sean McVay has coached over here in London more than Liam Cohen has. I get it. There's an organizational angle, and Trevor has played 6 games over here, but the Rams bring in a decent amount of experience here as well. And historically, the favorites have done pretty well here, at least winning straight up. And pretty well ATS. I know the outlier was last week where we saw the Broncos lay an egg. I think that was a gross game. I think that was a lot of overlooking their opponent, and which I thought they would get up for. Obviously, I was on the Broncos, but I think this Rams team is going to be locked in. To me, the injury that not enough people are talking about is Devin Lloyd being out for the Jaguars. He's been a huge piece to their success as a team and defensively. 4 interceptions from the linebacker position. That's a game changer. And he had that awesome pick 6 against.
He's had a couple big plays.
Yeah, I mean, just 4 interceptions right there from a linebacker is pretty rare this far into the season. So I think not having Devin Lloyd is going to be the difference in this game. So yeah, give me the Rams laying the short number here overseas. Kramer, it sounds like you're on the Jags +3.
I also think whatever happened between Liam Cohen and Sean McVay, I do not think they like each other.
Yeah.
And I think,
no, he's a great guy. Our paths crossed. A lot of respect for them. We're just focused on us. We're focused on us. Oh, maybe we'll see the Royal Guard. I went down to a rabbit hole of
the Royal Guard.
Well, in my head, I was like, is the Royal Guard called something else, or is it just they're called the Royal Guard? And I think they're just called the Royal Guard. But if you want to go down a rabbit hole on YouTube, there's a bunch of videos of people trying to mess with the Royal Guard and the Royal Guard fucking them up. Those guys do not play around. So don't mess with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where those people are asking for it. I see no reason to fade the Jags on their home turf across the pond. And while I think what was most impressive about Seattle last week is they had an answer for most of what the Jags were going to do. I'm not sure the Rams are the same. And I circle back to it. Without Puka, this is a completely different offense. I'm still on the Jag wagon, baby.
Will there be a game where you don't pick the Jags, Ryan? Because we haven't seen it yet. You've picked them every week.
Is that true?
What games have you faded the Jags?
You might be right. I'm just. I feel like I made the mistake of fading them one week, and I'm gonna go back and find it now.
You might have faded them once. Yeah, trying to think which.
Yeah, it was a bet, and it was a bet. No, going back. I don't. Maybe I have. Maybe I have.
You've been pretty strong on the Jag wagon, and you.
I took those stupid Houston Texans because of the flow chart. That's when we lit the flow chart on fire.
Yes. All right,
bad move.
I'm on the Rams laying the 3. Kramer on the Jags getting the 3.
Yeah.
And of course, we're
staying
all
on the Jag wagon,
getting great prices, great value, a lot of fun over at mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Score 100% bet back bonus up to $500 when you use the promo code SGPN. T's and C's apply. Love me some MyBookie. Great for easy deposit, easy withdrawal in that sweet cryptocurrency. The prop builder, second to none. The prices for first touchdown are great. If you're looking for a way to get down on first TDs, the ones that Kramer's on an incredible heater, I'm on a pretty decent heater myself. If you're looking to tail some of those or get in on the action, I recommend MyBookie.
I got a great number on Jonnu 2 touchdowns. I'm not trying to brag or anything.
Okay.
And also, if you listen to the prop show, I mean, some of those numbers we gave out, like the carries, have come down multiple carries.
We were both
the CLV is insane. Just insane amount of CLV happening.
Yeah, go back and check out the Thursday night prop show if you're looking for some bonus Thursday action. Gave out a bunch of stuff that we liked, and of course, we like when you guys support us and yourself. MyBookie.ag. promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Now you want to talk about great prices and available in a ton of states, 35 states, including Florida, Texas, Alaska. I think New Mexico's in there, Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming. There are a bunch of great states where Novig is active. America's #1 sports prediction market. Spend $5, get $50 when you use our promo code SGPN, and the prices are great. Again, it's a sports prediction market, so you know you're getting a good deal. And not only you would think like, oh, they don't have props. No, they have props too. Good prices on the anytime touchdowns, the first TDs. Ryan, we just talked about the game. We both like the Bengals plus 5.5 as a home dog. Novik has it at -105.
Really?
Yeah. Even, or if you like the Steelers, plus 103 -5.5. So definitely get yourself a Novig app, download it, use the promo code SGPN.
Sorry, I was just checking on coworker Colby Dan.
Okay, what's he up to?
They're still at it.
Still grinding away on
they're still at it. So I expect that we'll see some. They started 3 hours ago. That can't be right. All right, next up, got a little AFC West battle here in Kansas City. First of the 6 early games, Sean. So only a 6-game window at the 10 a.m. Sunday morning window. Again, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. Colby pulling out the stops when it comes to the logos this week. Just win, baby. The Raiders, looking ahead to their bye, are on the road to face Kansas City, where Kansas City's laying 11.5, -700 on the money line. Vegas plus 520, 45.5 is the total. Patrick Graham, who has been the defensive coordinator out there in Las Vegas for a number of years now, has done a good job against this Kansas City Chiefs team. In Kansas City, they would have covered this, I believe, 4-1 going back 5 years.
So Patrick Mahomes has lost 3 times in his career outright as a double-digit favorite.
One of them was
2 of them were against the Raiders.
Oh
yes. You're probably remembering the 2023 game. Chiefs were laying 11. They lost 20-14. But back in 2020, they were laying 11 points, lost 40-32.
Wow,
that was a wild game. I'm remembering that. And the Colts back in 2019, they lost 19-13. So a little interesting there. I forgot that he survived the multiple coaches, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and I think there's also a gap between what their defensive performance has been and what people see it as. Like their DVOA sees them as number 10 defense. They've been particularly good against the pass. I know I was more than I normally. I was kind of having a problem digesting some of the advanced numbers, and I know a lot of it is like, oh well, they really kind of did well against the. They've done well in games where maybe the outcome doesn't match like the yardage output or whatever. And I think like often the Patrick Graham and even when Patrick Graham was with the Giants, he schemed up some good stuff against Patrick Mahomes. I think he's just a good game to game schemer. And to me, continuing the trend of, I didn't have to really discuss too many of these games with myself. To have an 11.5, this number opened at 9.5 in May. It was 10.5 on the look ahead. I expect it's going to continue to go up. So if we're taking
poor Raiders, they win a game and then it's still adjusted a point.
And I don't feel great about this, but we also heard Pete Carroll say he'd like to see Genty get 25 carries a game. I think when you really dive into the Chiefs, they haven't been awesome against the run.
Well, I would say they did a good job of clamping down on the run against the Lions. I think that was a big part of why they won and covered that game. But to your point, overall, as a guy who's going to be back in the Raiders here, getting the 11.5,
Chiefs logo's out of control.
It is. We might get, if our audience was into canceling, we would get canceled for the Kansas City Chiefs logo.
Colby, we got to blur this out.
YouTube.com/sportsgambling-podcast. It's tough to make a case that they're live here because I do think getting Rashee Rice back and clearly within the building and in the offense, it's like, oh, wait till we get Rashi back.
But it's such a public narrative. Yeah. Everyone knows that he's back this week. Fantasy football does this, right? It creates this flock to know something that, oh yeah, when they come, everyone get ready to bet your Chiefs future on week 6 before Rashi Rice comes back. So I think everyone's aware of it.
Yeah,
it's what's pushing the number north. I think it's going to continue to grow. If I had to guess, Sean, it's not going to, like, when we get to the circa for our paper tickets, if we choose to include this in our portfolio, the number is going up. And so I guess my advice would be wait on it if you like the Raiders.
The scary part is the Raiders kind of suck. Geno Smith leading the league in interceptions. The defense, to your point, I guess the advanced numbers definitely probably exceed the eye test. I mean, there was a chance that they almost got backdoored by that horrible Titans team, but Cam Ward just let the ball fly out of his hand multiple times.
Other way to look at it is if they don't have a field goal block, they're on a 2-game winning streak.
Okay, that's a good spin.
Yeah, I would say it's a great spin.
I would say a storyline that's probably not getting enough press is the Chiefs rookie left tackle Josh Simmons. He left before the game on Sunday night, and it was a late scratch. Someone who's on the Chiefs. I'm like, what the hell? And
you heard the news about how even Mahomes apparently walked into the locker room and was like,
"Hey, where's our starting left tackle?"
Know that they were going to be without their left tackle.
And so normally you would assume, oh, okay, like a crazy death in the family, something personal. But from watching the way Andy Reid addressed it and the way it was discussed, it seems like something else is going on. Well, I think it's tough to speculate.
Well, so what didn't help is it got misreported last week that he was back home dealing with a family matter.
Yeah,
which maybe the Chiefs put that out just to kind of let the weekend go by
them some time.
Because when you heard the talkings, which first of all the aggregators pull, if you read the aggregator pull the clip about Mahomes saying he's praying for him, the full quote is, "I pray for all my teammates, praying for them, but I'm going to keep our conversation private." I think when Andy Reid says, "I'm not going to talk about it," the GM's handling it. One of two things is happening, right? Either it's something with the law, something criminal, or it's we're not on the same page about something.
I think it's like
a rehab or something.
This seems like in the mental health freak out area. Some sort of like, because they're splitting the difference where it's like clearly if it was like a medical thing, they would be very supportive and there wouldn't be any sort of like the GM's handling that. But with the mental health thing, it's like, I'm not feeling right, I'm going home, which normally you would call someone just a bitch ass pussy. But now you have to be like, well, he's going through a mental health crisis, and you present yourself very sympathetic, although I'm sure they're pissed off. So the weirdness around the left tackle is big. And I think not getting reported enough.
It just seemed like, even looking at Andy Reid's facial expressions as he was like, "Nope, not going to talk about that,"
there's something weird going on.
It felt like it's not mental, like it's something worse, and maybe there's something worse is that he just went AWOL and they actually didn't know where he was for a while.
It's probably he went AWOL and now he's probably saying it's a mental health thing. He's being vague, and so that's my, again, don't want to.
You're saying he's maybe potentially pulling a card because that card allows you to get away with whatever.
A little more sympathy, happened. Right?
Maybe it was just a trip to the casino that got a little out of hand.
I'm a degenerate.
But yeah, I'm all over the Raiders. And you mentioned it up top, but the Raiders are on bye next week. So this is load up. This is everything you got. This is a rah-rah speech from Pete Carroll to keep this game close. So give me the Raiders plus 11.5. Kramer.
And there was at least one national NFL reporter who was suggesting that we could be seeing, there could be a coach on the hot seat who you wouldn't think is on the hot seat, who just got to his job. And a lot of people are speculating that's either Aaron Glenn or Pete Carroll.
No. Not 100% not Pete Carroll.
I don't think Mark Davis is trying to waste money.
No,
right?
That would involve the guy who's playing airport slots. You don't have a lot of money kicking around. He is not firing just strictly off the money. He is 100%. He's not firing him.
Have you ever? Yeah, just sorry. Have you ever shared the anecdote about when Derek found out you were playing some airport slots?
Yes, Derek and our Sportsbook and Sig RIP. We were hanging out chatting, and I was saying, mentioned I played the airport slots, and they both looked at me super disappointed. Oh, you can't play the slots at the airport. Those are the tightest ones. What are you doing? Which it kind of makes sense because the airport doesn't. They're not like juicing the slots to get you to stay and hang out.
They don't have
There's
any
no
competition.
reward. There's no comps at the airport slot machine.
Water costs $15.
Yeah.
Of course, the slots are going to be tight.
So Kramer, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm on bet. Yeah, like it's just this was actually one of the first point spreads that jumped out. I was like, this is, and I'm hearing a lot of people say, screw the holidays. Just give me this on Survivor this week. And
Survivor's going to be interesting.
No, thank you. All right. Moving along to game number 4, aka game number 2 in the early window. Miami Dolphins head up to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Browns are favored. Dylan Gabriel is favored 2.5 points, -138 on the money line. I mean, crazy. Dolphins +118, 40 is the total. Tua calls out everyone and then apologizes, which is somehow making it even worse.
Well, I mean, you know, he is, of course.
And Tua tag Ovalia.
The mistake.
How do you do it?
Do it again.
Every single time.
Do it again.
I go, he's not gonna step over it this time.
I wasn't going
because
to.
I jumped in, I set it up cleanly. I go, okay, Kramer,
do it again.
Kramer knows
Do
this
it again.
time.
And Tua tag Ovalia, the quarterback.
There you go.
Perfect.
Oh man,
This
you cracked me up.
this game might be the actual mistake by the lake because we have 2 left-handed quarterbacks.
Oh, good angle.
Do you just flip the screen?
And aren't they? They're both Hawaiian, right?
Both Hawaiian, but so you want to hear something odd that about one of these guys is, and I have to put blame on the older guy, is probably a piece of shit. Dylan Gabriel has never met Tua. Dylan Gabriel smashed all of Tua's records. Never met.
Where did he smash the records?
Whatever high school.
Oh,
whatever,
okay.
like, or
so
maybe
you think he's
state
jealous?
How many quarterbacks are coming from fucking Hawaii, Sean? I just think you guys would know each other.
Yeah,
it's a small island.
Maybe their paths didn't cross. I don't know.
Just they're both lefty. Come on, that was odd.
They're gonna enjoy a shaved ice after.
Well, have we ever seen? I'm trying. So it would have to be like a Steve Young. What? I mean, 2 lefties playing quarterback at the same time. We're gonna get to see if Tua's release really is that slow.
Browns have gone 11 games without scoring 18 points or more, dating back to last season. That's a horrible sign. Cleveland is just 0-5 straight up when closing as the betting favorite with 3 different quarterbacks. So this will be the 4th quarterback in a row that has not won. Well, we'll see. I guess maybe this could be the 4th quarterback.
See, I think this is like the perfect spot. The defense is back at home. I mean, they beat the Packers with old Joe Flacco. Dylan Gabriel is going to be able to look okay against this defense that is half quit and half sucks.
I mean, well, Dylan Gabriel is
they're going to run the ball.
Yeah,
the run game works, which means the offense is going to work better. And like, what was the reason that Tua and that offense were able to get involved in the game against the Chargers?
Yeah,
it's Achan. I just don't think the Browns are. You're just, even though Jalen Warren went over by a couple yards, you're not going to operate your normal run game against the Browns.
Yeah, I mean the case for the Browns is easy. I mean Judkins against this Dolphins defense that led up 100 yards to Vidal, who is basically a practice squad guy coming off the street. Browns on the other side, number 1 in rush defensive DVOA. You would imagine they'd be able to slow Achan down. You'd imagine Myles Garrett, who seemed a little fired up. Maybe we get Myles Garrett with a pulse here. I would imagine he's hungry to mess up Tua. Now Dylan Gabriel has looked horrible, but pretty bad. Dylan Gabriel, in his defense, his first career start was in London against a Brian Flores defense. His second start was on the road against the Steelers. Now he at least this is his first home start, So
defense is
you
there
would
a little
imagine-
easier on the
you would
defensive
imagine this
side.
is his most favorable situation. Is it scary to take Dylan Gabriel as a favorite? Sure, it should be. I do think the Harold Fannin props could be interesting. He seems to really like to target
Oh my God.
Fannin and Njoku. Where are we at with Njoku? He got banged up. Do you think he plays, Ryan?
I think. Well, will he? He's another guy that's been on the hot stove, the trade talks. So I would expect he'll be out there. That's my take on Njoku.
Yeah, I think he plays as well. So,
but to your point, Fannin looks very good. They look like they have some chemistry, maybe from the summer, and I think it doesn't really matter because it's more about the run game works, so everything else works. I'm also on the Browns. Disgusting laying points here, but look at what this Dolphins team has allowed other offenses to do. And the Cleveland home games where granted it's normally covering a number, but in this case, we're going to need to win by a field goal. They're all gross.
yes.
And the defense gives them a couple chances. They kick a couple field goals. That will be that. All right.
And there is weather expected on Sunday, and Tua is 1-8 straight up on the road last 9 games. So, and that's with some of his better weapons, better situations. So give me the Browns laying the 2.5. Kramer,
how's he do after apologizing the team for calling them?
I don't have any trends on that.
All right.
Kramer,
yeah, Cleveland -2.5. Like I said, like not 2 minutes ago.
all right. Well, it's always great
easy.
to get a direct who you're on.
Very easy. I'm not on the Dolphins, and I'm not taking until they fire their coach. Plus, all of a sudden, there's a lot of reports that they're in a fire sale mode. So, yeah, we'll see. Stephen Ross apparently not happy with how the season has started.
Why would he be happy?
Game number 3 in the early window, the New England Patriots, who Sean for the 3rd time this year, 2 times last week, and which, by the way, it was undefeated, and 1 time this week. We have a team on their 3rd straight road game, the New England Patriots, and they're laying 7 points on the road here in Tennessee. Whatever this Titans logo is, it looks like I mean, American Gladiator meets some sort of like jousting dinner festival thing. 7-point favorites on the road for the Patriots in Tennessee. Tennessee fires their coach. Certainly they'll get a little of that dead coach bounce. Tennessee +260, New England -310. 42 is the total. New England also the most obvious like public side this week. Everyone's betting them.
Yeah.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Drake May looks really good. It has me wondering if Jaden Daniels is QB3 in the class after the loss to Caleb Williams. I mean, Vrabel is getting a lot of smoke blown up his ass right now.
Yeah.
And the owner fired Brian Callahan, allegedly, per sources in Reddit. Fired the coach because he didn't want to have that be his representative when he went to battle with Vrabel.
It's a woman. It's Amy who is calling the shots there in Tennessee, and she said, "I'm not losing to Vrabel with that head coach. Anyone but Callahan." And they promoted Mike McCoy, and now he's the head coach who's not had a great run, but it seems like he's come in. He simplified the offense. Just looking at spots of Super Bowls, this is the Tennessee Titans Super Bowl. None of the rest, they're not making the playoffs. They're not going to the Super Bowl, Tennessee. This is your Super Bowl. Now maybe some of those guys, they actually don't care about the Vrabel revenge game. I'm sure Vrabel has a chip on his shoulder, and matchup wise, I get why you'd be interested in the Patriots, but the 3rd road game is legit. Third road game is impossible spot historically to cover and win. Now, certainly, obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but you look at any sort of teams playing on the 3rd game of a road trip after going 2-0, those first are 15-27 straight up, 16-24 and 2 ATS over the last 20 years. So it's rare for a team to be on a game of a road trip to be this big of a favorite. I don't think the Tennessee Titans are going to win many games between now and the end of the season. This might be their chance just because of the situational spot here. So I think this is a massive get up spot for them. I get it. You couldn't make a case based on the matchups of why Tennessee Titans should win this game. They are at home. They are a massive home dog. The fact we're getting 7 points. Everyone, I think a lot of people will be playing the Patriots in Survivor. I think, yeah, I just the third road game. I'm not playing. I'm always going to fade teams on third road game, and we saw it last week. We saw the Browns were on their third road game, and the Titans were on their third road game.
Yeah,
the Raiders covered as a favorite last week.
There's only there's a couple of these types of situations that I mean, for me, it's similar to the close your eyes special in that it's just you're the 2-0 angle. Also, I dug in to try to find if there had been in the last 25 seasons, there has not been a team to cover all three of a 3-game road trip. And so there's certainly a lot going against this team, and they're at a very high point. And certainly, again, with fantasy and everything else, Drake May is the toast of the town. They have looked good in the passing game. I continue to wonder what happens when it. I mean, I'll say this: the nicest thing I can say about Tennessee is that they've had a couple decent defensive game plans where the offense just was so bad it didn't help them. I think when I went and listened to a number of offensive linemen and other members of the offense talk, there were two clear messages. It was clear that on the offensive side of the ball, they stripped out a lot of the complicated bullshit that Callahan liked to do. And everyone seemed to think this is
big time Callahan, son.
On the defensive side of the ball, it seemed like the defensive coordinator just flat out said, look, if they're cutting the head man, you're all red. Like they can cut any one of us because 3 separate defensive players. First of all, Simmons talked about how he talked to the team and basically to a man told everyone they're trying out for somewhere. And the coaches must have leaned into the cup thing because everyone was mentioning like they could get rid of us tomorrow. So I think you got a bunch of grown men playing for a job.
If there ever was a wake up, get up moment for the Titans team, this is it.
And the thing I would say about the Patriots is I don't think the roster got better overnight. And it was a roster that a lot of people were pointing at and saying this roster's not very thick. They don't have a lot of backups. They don't have a lot of depth. And we haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna fade it. And like you said, really third straight road game. That's easy.
Give me the Titans +7, Ryan.
So we took the Raiders, the Browns as favorites, and we're back on the Titans.
Yes.
Not learning our lessons.
No, I faded the Titans a lot this year, and I felt like I've done a pretty good job. And Callahan is no longer the coach. And RIP Callahan, 4-19 ATS.
4-20, right?
I think it was 4-19.
Well, that last game, it was 4-19 going into the last.
Okay,
game.
You're right. Maybe it was 4-20.
One more game for the
whatever it was. He only covered 4 times, and even that fourth cover was kind of questionable.
Yeah. All right. Let's hop over to game number 4 in the early window. The New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. Oh my God, Colby, you really do have to check out the YouTube. He tried really hard this week because he screwed up last week. Had excuses, but nonetheless, good job by Colby. Chicago coming off Monday Night Football. Nice little win for them. Caleb Williams poking his head back into that QB race of the class of 2024. They're laying 5 points here, -235 on the money line. Saints +200. 47 is the total. I appreciate the fact that they looked good against the Commanders. They had some moments on defense. It seems like their linebacking core being all the way back is helpful in the run defense. But much like a Tomlin team, and this is where the starting point was for me, on a short week, am I really looking to lay this number with the Chicago Bears? Where I as much as I like Caleb's energy towards the game of football,
zesty,
he still and also like, can I trust that the running game is going to show up? I don't know where I'm at. Another weirdo interface. I mean, go watch. I dare you to go watch Ben Johnson talk on the microphone after this game. The guy has some serious issues with his communication skills. He's very awkward. I still don't believe he's an NFL head coach. Yeah, I mean, to me, this starts as way too many points. I think this Saints team has been scrappy in every game. I know the Patriots just
I disagree. I watched that Seattle game where the Saints got their ass kicked.
That was the one bad team. That was the one time they weren't scrapping.
Yeah, because they're on the road. And they were scrappy against the Bills because the Bills don't have a fucking defense. And I don't
think the Bears have a defense either, though.
I disagree. I mean, they went into Washington and shut down a very dynamic defense in the Washington Commander, or a very dynamic offense. Certainly, I have Jaden Daniels and the Washington offense better than this New Orleans Saints team. And okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're
Cliff Kingsbury game 21. It could be expiring.
Certainly. Again, I was on the Bears going into that game, Ryan. I think I actually am taking the Bears here because I look at the Saints team, and the Saints are a lot of teams in the AFC South. And we see this with the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints to varying degrees. I think the Falcons are the best version, but dome teams in the NFC South, when they go on the road, they historically struggle. And the Saints team is a great example because you talk yourself into the Saints like, oh man, they look pretty frisky at home. Oh, they didn't cover against the Pats, but they were pretty frisky. But they're not frisky on the road on that slow Soldier Field turf. God bless them. They are still playing outdoors. This is a great spot to fade the New Orleans Saints. Spencer Rattler, 0-8 ATS as a dog, under 10 points. This is not enough points for this Saints team. DJ Moore is hospitalized with a groin injury day to day. So I don't know what kind of stuff he was doing.
We have to talk about this because he got taken to the hospital from the game for a groin injury. Do you think, do he get kicked in the, like, did he rupture a testicle? Like what?
Too much hip thrusting on the sideline?
Well, he was on the mic today. I don't know if you saw what he said about Caleb Williams. He said that he's bossy, but not in a mean way.
He's bossy. Damn, Caleb, you bossy. He's a boss bitch. I'll tell you this. The real reason I'm fading him is we saw what this Bears offense was able to do against the suspect pass defense, right? New Orleans defense is 28th in DVOA overall, 27th in pass defensive DVOA. Remember when the Dallas Cowboys, what were they? 30th in pass defensive DVOA, and Caleb Williams looked like he had his best game. I think against suspect defenses at home, Caleb Williams is going to look pretty good. And you want to play some Luther Burden longest catch props. You want to play some Luther Burden receiving yards ladder. We'll discuss it probably in the prop show, but I think this is a nice, cozy spot for Caleb. I get some of your stuff that you're saying about you don't want to buy in on the Bears overall, but I think at home against the Saints, this is the time to play them. So give me the Bears laying the 5.
Brandon Staley, I think, comes with a good game plan for Caleb. I think Caleb's still going to give you moments. I'm on the Saints. It's this guy. I see the chat's unhappy with me, but it's happening. I'm taking the Saints again.
I think he's going to be able to throw all over him.
Too many. No, here's Bears win by a field goal. That's what this feels like to me.
Feels like Bears win by 7.
Okay. Well, that's funny. Why you one side of the number and I'm on the other.
We have different feelings regarding this game.
Game 5 in the early window, probably going to be on the big screen. We will have a Vikings fan in the house too. That could be annoying.
Well, he's coming at he said I'll be there around 11. So that's not a real fan. Of course, the games kick off at 10. That's the most annoying part.
And last time the Broncos fan showed up at halftime.
Oh.
Philly
killed the mojo.
Philly on the road here in the spaceship to take on the Vikings. Vikings are coming off a bye week. Eagles mini bye coming off Thursday night. Eagles on a back-to-back road spot. Eagles would be a close your eyes special, but they are favored by 2 here on the road. Which I actually my research would tell you, Sean, that is. You get a little residual effect there from the close your eyes special. That was actually stronger than the close your eyes special itself. Like
being a favorite,
being between 0 and 2.5. No, just like a short favorite.
Okay.
So being between 0 and 2.5 was a generally good spot to be in. I believe it was 71%, something like that. -132 on the money line for Philly. Minnesota +112. 43.5 is the total. To me, this is all about. Well, one, are the Eagles going to get things corrected? Who met with who this week? Lot to discuss. It does seem like the team's getting healthier, although I would be surprised. To me, coming off a hamstring, with Quinyon Mitchell, that would be the one that would be most surprising if he does make it back. But it seems like he's going to make it back based on being out on the practice field today. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but that matters. And then the quarterback conversation for the Vikings. I don't know what the fuck Kevin O'Connell is doing. I understand he simplifies the offense. He makes it easy for the quarterbacks to be successful. If he touches you, you go be good somewhere else. Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones looking great, but he's splitting the reps this week between Carson Wentz and JJ McCarthy. And I can't imagine that's good for either guy. Carson Wentz banged up. I think it's a shoulder. JJ dealing with a benching / ankle injury.
He's quiet quitting.
I don't. I mean, look, there's just so many things where you can be like, oh yeah, well, but the defensive backfield for the Eagles is going to get roasted.
Well, I would say this. I mean, let's just start with the defensive injuries. Jalen Carter, he's a full go. He's definitely going to be playing. Quinyon Mitchell was limited in practice, which if you're limited on Wednesday with the way the Eagles do their injuries, that to me is a sign you're playing. Landon Dickerson also limited in practice. I thought they were gonna.
He's like amazing. He can come back faster than he's supposed to, and then he just gets injured again.
Well, yeah, it's a wild roller coaster with Landon Dickerson. And your point, Ryan, maybe Quinyon retweaks it, but I do think if I had to guess right now, Wednesday night, I'm saying Quinyon is in, and I think that's going to be a big boost for them. But to me, love everything I'm hearing from leaders like AJ Brown and everything going on. I'm guessing you didn't see you only see like the negative shit, but
no. I continue. I'm just laughing at you. Went out of your way to call him a leader.
No, I think he's a leader. He speaks for the team sometimes. He's also has his diva moments, as most good receivers do. To me, this is about the Eagles defense. I think being able to handle whoever the Vikings trot out as quarterback. You look at Carson Wentz, 6% of his throws are turnover worthy. I think the Eagles coming off a game where they got 0 turnovers, kind of asleep at the wheel on both sides of the ball. Jalen Hurts had a bad turnover, bad interception. He did have the longest streak of not throwing a pick going into that game. And he looked good in the first half, didn't look sharp in the second half, missed some throws, threw a pick. I think he's going to come in, have a very good game, and there are going to be opportunities to run in this Vikings team. I hope they take advantage of it. But again, this to me is about the Eagles defense against the Vikings quarterback. So I would be if Carson Wentz carves up the Eagles secondary, I would be very surprised and very disappointed. So I am in on the Eagles laying the 2. I don't think JJ McCarthy is going to be the starter. And if he is the starter, that to me is weird, because why would you start him without giving him full practice reps?
Completely agree. What's worse? I know you've had a rivalry with Vikings fans and JJ McCarthy this summer. Carson Wentz, of course, we all know that baggage. What would be worse? Losing to JJ McCarthy or losing to Carson Wentz?
Losing to Carson Wentz would always be. At least Carson Wentz did help me win $200,000. So maybe there's a soft spot in my heart. I have no love for JJ McCarthy and the Skull Army that continues to prop this guy up. And I never really had any issues with him. It was just how I casually pointed out the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl with the rookie quarterback. And then all of a sudden I'm this hater no, the Vikings are not going to win the Super Bowl. I stand by that. I don't think that's a hot take. They don't have the quarterback. And I think they're going to feel a little dumb for getting rid of Sam Darnold. You guys were 14-3. You overthought it. There was no re-sign him, figure it out the salary. Keep a guy who was 14-3 in the regular season. You don't get rid of that. It felt a little cute. So of course,
I can see why he's arrogant. We saw his girlfriend or wife at the win.
She was very attractive.
I mean, he's working with some
He's
stuff.
one of those.
Kramer, what are you doing? I haven't gotten I have no idea who you're picking.
Well, because as I was telling you, that I feel like this was one of the games I actually had to sit down because all right, I don't care who the quarterback is. The way that the secondary has been playing for the Eagles, Quinyon coming off a hamstring, maybe he isn't all the way ready, and the team decides it's better to not lose you for another 2 weeks right now. I think the stuff you said about. I mean, the offense getting right starts with the offensive line. Will it get right because you're going against the Brian Flores defense? I think some of what the Giants did last week was they got out of nowhere got confusing, changed up looks, got kind of confused Jalen Hurts, and Barkley hasn't really shown up yet. So I guess I'm finding a number of reasons to say I'll gamble with the Vikings here coming off the bye. The lower body mechanic sessions 1-on-1, hopefully with O'Connell and JJ or Carson Wentz worked.
Give me the Eagles laying the 2. Kramer on the Vikings +2, and Jose in the chat saying if Carson Wentz wins this game, I will chop my nuts off. That's the kind of, maybe this is the Mike Vrabel burner who famously said he was willing to cut off his. How do you let a guy who said he's willing to cut off his dick to win a Super Bowl? How do you let that guy walk out of the building? Right? I know
they let a lot of things walk out of the building. In fairness, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Mike Vrabel, Arthur Smith. I can keep Jonnu Smith. They let him go leave the building first. All right. Yeah, I guess this will be an interesting one. No, I just think that Eagles. I don't think a lot of Eagles fans would say they would chop their nuts off if the Eagles lose this game. Game 6, last game in the early window. The Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. Kind of feels like this should be the international game.
Yeah,
Jets
send this back to London.
Jets 1 point home dog, plus 100 on the money line, minus 120 for the Panthers. 41.5 is the total. Panthers and Browns are favored in the same week. Look, this was another game where I had to spend some time deliberating.
Really?
Well, you have an unbettable team in the Jets and the Panthers in an unbettable situation, favored on the road.
Yeah, I mean Bryce Young 1-17 straight up on the road. You don't feel good about that, but I just go back to that sequence over in London where the Jets trotted out a fake punt where they left the starting offensive line out and had Breece Hall as the blocker back there, which was an obvious direct snap to Breece Hall. So you run a very obvious fake punt that works. You get the first down, and then what do you do after that? You run the clock out. That to me is the craziest, dumbest thing I've ever like. All right, if you're gonna just run the clock out, then fucking punt. Why are you risking getting the Broncos back into this game if you're just going to run the clock out? Now, on the other side, Justin Fields 0-26 straight up when other teams score more than 21 points. So I think what makes this game particularly tricky, and I am going to be on the Panthers here, is if Fields gets pulled early and we see Tyrod and somehow he's able to figure it out. But even Tyrod,
do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Justin
Fields had
they have no receivers,
negative 10 net passing yards.
Like, what are you expecting? They're down. Definitely Garrett Wilson. It seems like,
but
maybe more.
The Jets have to do something. I think at some point the boos are going to be raining down relentlessly. The only thing the Jets can do to get a cheer out of the crowd is to put out a different quarterback. So I think that is a real possibility. Justin Fields gets benched in this game. And your point, without Garrett Wilson, I mean, the passing game was horrible. Now it's below horrible. And to make a case for the Carolina Panthers, there's one guy who is just saying, I'm trying to feed my family. I'm trying to get paid here. And that's Rico Dowdle. Back-to-back games with 200+ yards from scrimmage.
Chuba's back.
They said they don't know about who's going to start. Come on. Are you fucking kidding me? Carolina play Rico Dowdle.
They're being serious.
I mean, that might even piss him off more. If he needed motivation for this game, the fact that he didn't win the job, Jets were 1.4 yards per play. Last game, they did not enter the red zone last week.
Yeah, but the Panthers just played the Cowboys, which you look at the last couple of weeks of teams who looked really good against the Cowboys, or at least offensively.
Yeah.
Packers, there was a bye in between there. Bears come to mind. Even the Giants, throw that out there a little bit. So you're ready to take the Panthers?
Oh, I'm all in on the Panthers.
All right.
What are you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, because I said they're unbettable, the Jets. Panthers haven't looked good on the road, but I'll join.
Give me Carolina laying the point. Yeah, it doesn't feel great, but you can't bet the Jets, man. You just can't do it.
Also, there's now some of those reports coming out where if you're a likable coach, these types of reports don't come out. And so I'm now wondering, if you saw Aaron Rodgers talk about his encounter with Aaron Glenn and how they like had him fly across the country to tell him they're going in a different direction. There's some more stories like this coming out that maybe Aaron Glenn has the meathead part down from Dan Campbell, but not the nuanced culture building piece of it. Moving along, I've seen this a couple times in print. First game in the late window, 1:05 p.m. on the West Coast, but we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Los Angeles Bolts. Sean, you like
Great
that?
work there, Ryan.
Not my work. I read it multiple times. I was like, I got to say that on the show. It sounds nice. The Bolts versus the Colts, not as good as the Convicts versus the Catholics. Chargers, 1.5 point favorites here. Sean, in May, this was a 6 point number. Now it's down to 1.5, minus 130 on the money line. Colts plus 110, 48.5 is the total. The film nerds would tell you that one of the things that Minter does best is take away your first read, confuse you with zones. I can tell you from firsthand experience that I know he's playing a different brand of ball this year. But Daniel Jones, when he doesn't get to throw to his first read and is fed confusing zones, he generally makes mistakes. We saw him start to turn into a pumpkin last week a little bit. Sean, is this the week that we?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
certainly
gonna fade him again, no matter what. I think.
You what?
I think I'm just gonna fade. I think this is a great matchup for Herbert. I think their passing defense isn't
Herbie
that good.
the love bug.
And I think this is going to be a game where we're talking about how good this offense looks for Herbert, passing offense especially.
The random nugget I came across here, and it might have been our buddy Walter Football. In his career, Jim Harbaugh has never lost 4 straight ATS games. So if the Chargers don't cover this game, this would be a rare 4 ATS loss for Jim Harbaugh. So that's a fun little nugget here. Colts Travarius Ward, who got knocked out pregame. Thanks, Travarius. He's not going to be out there, although they are getting Kenny Moore back, but he's coming back from his Achilles injury. So I don't know how good he's going to be able to do. Colts do a good job of pressuring the quarterback. I mean, what's really scary about this is Jonathan Taylor, I think, could be the difference in this game. Jonathan Taylor could run all over this Chargers defense. We saw them with no ability to slow down Achan. If Danny Dimes can be competent, maybe they can hang around in this game. And of course, the Chargers are noticeably noticeably worse at home than they are on the road. Positive for the Chargers is that they will probably have the home crowd here. I doubt the Colts are going to be taking things over.
Well, they've already been out here for a game. They played the Rams a couple weeks ago, Sean.
Yeah. Didn't feel like a Colts takeover.
I doubt the Colts fans are ponying up 2 trips to LA.
Nice pun there, Ryan. I just don't think. Yeah, and to me, it looks like Khalil Mack is practicing. If he's out there, that's huge, and getting Quentin Johnson back. So I'm a little scared because of Jonathan Taylor. So I almost want to take Chargers and load up on some Jonathan Taylor props coming the other way. But yeah, I will take the Chargers laying the small number here in LA. Give me the Chargers 1.5, Ryan. And because Danny Dimes looked his worst when he was on the road at this very SoFi Stadium, he does seem to have a weird home road split where he's looked much better. He had his first turnover at home against the Cardinals, and that was a horrible turnover by Danny Dimes.
Colts have somehow played 4 home games already. There's a lot of things suggesting that the Colts potentially start to regress. I'm on the Chargers as well with you. There's a 0% chance I'm going to be on the Colts the game where he fully turns back into a pumpkin. 0%, which means I'm probably just fading the Colts the rest of the year.
You're waiting for that pumpkin performance.
We'll see how that goes. We saw it. Just trust me, it's coming. We had stretches like this back in 2022 in the playoff run. You remember they were road win against Kirk Cousins and that Vikings team. Game 2 in the late window, 1:05 p.m. on the West Coast. The Giants, coming off Thursday Night Football, head to Denver to take on the Broncos. Broncos laying a touchdown, minus 345 on the money line. Giants plus 285. 40 is the total. Pretty solid logos both for the Broncos and the Giants here. you're not watching on YouTube, you should check it out.
The Orange Crush stuff is really some of the coolest NFL logos.
Broncos going from a back-to-back road spot in London to not taking the bye.
Now, historically, not taking the bye has been more favorable than taking the bye.
Well, how are you measuring not taking the bye or taking the bye? Like as far as like the game after the bye?
Yes.
Yeah.
ATS at least.
Yeah.
Now maybe it's like one of those they bake it in so the number's more favorable.
Certainly. In this case, I don't know if it's baked in because the look ahead was 7.5. It's now 7. I could see there being a little bit excitement from the Giants after the win against the Eagles last week.
Yeah, it was a great win for the Giants.
Jackson Dart's arrival,
taking their shirts off on prime time.
Yeah, that was great. Charisma, oozing charisma. And meanwhile, I do think Denver, we'll throw it away as like, yeah, they got the win, no big deal. But
yep,
Denver against this Jets team looked hard. They were playing a team that had negative passing yards and they needed a safety to win by 2, Sean. Does that not concern you at all? And I think you lose any sort of elevation travel edge because the Giants are off long rest and you're coming back from London.
Yeah, I see that. I just this is a good spot for the Broncos in my mind. Give me the Broncos laying 7. Giants after a huge primetime win, literally dumping the Gatorade. I think it's going to be tough for them to get up for this game. And Broncos, yes, they won the game, but I mean, I think Sean Payton's going to have a foot up the ass of everyone on that Broncos team. They're also going to be up for this game as it is Demaryius Thomas Day for the Broncos. Of course, Demaryius Thomas, Broncos legend. He used to do a donut Saturday that he passed along to Cortland Sutton, who now continues the Broncos tradition, saying you can feel like DT is there with him. So good vibes there. I was almost talking myself into the Giants because I see the case. Maybe this is a big number for Bo Nix and that offense.
Correct.
But I would say this: one, the public is all over the Giants. Public dogs do have fleas, but really matchup wise, I think the Giants' success in the Jackson Dart era has come in a big part because of his legs. Meanwhile, the Broncos, that's one of the things their defense excels at. They've only allowed 46 rushing yards to the quarterback, and they faced Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, even Justin Herbert, who is a guy who likes to use his legs at times. So if they can slow down Hurts, Fields, and Danny Dimes, by not killing them in the QB run game, that to me is a defense that can slow down Jackson Dart and make this offense very predictable. And I struggle to see them getting up for this spot after the massive win for the Giants. Feels like a letdown spot. Broncos #1 defensive EPA per play. So I think this is a smash spot for the Broncos, Ryan. I assume you're on the Giants.
It's impossible to have a letdown spot when you have a team with Cam Scatterbo. It's impossible to have a letdown spot when Jameis Winston is in your locker room. It is impossible for you to sell me on the idea that this Bo Nix offense should be laying a touchdown. And while I think you're right to point out that they have been good containing mobile quarterbacks, I think there's a slight difference in the way that Jackson Dart has been utilizing the scrambling. And I certainly would concede this will be his toughest test, but the offensive line is playing great ball. I fully expect protector of the year, Andrew Thomas, to fully stifle Benito or whoever they want.
Casa Benito.
I'm not, that's not the type of player that Andrew Thomas doesn't generally have problems. I mean, you know this having good tackles as well, but there's a type usually that will give him trouble, and it's not the speed rush. That's not what he's going to get his hands on Benito and put him in the fucking dirt. Cam Scatterbo is going to run through these motherfuckers and take their will. And Sean Payton's going to be screaming at Bo Nix on the sideline because the Giants defense is going to step up. Letdown spot is not the right handicap as to why they lose this game. The reason as to why they lose the game is what you said about the defense. If they bottle up Jackson Dart and he's not able to use his arm, it's going to be a long game, but I still like the matchup for the defense. And so And by the way, I'm also vibes are high because trade rumors are swirling and very exciting times.
We might get Jacoby Myers.
I have active texts going with multiple Giants. Terrell, Steph, we're chumming it up.
Give me Denver laying the 7.
Which receiver the Giants who are catching 7 points? Yeah, come on, Sean. This is a stretch for you. Laying 7 with Bo Nix. You can be out on Bo Nix.
Oh, I mean, I understand the concern. I think it's a good. As I mentioned, their defense able to shut down the mobile quarterbacks is what got me on the Broncos.
Yeah, but Jackson's different. Washington heads to Dallas.
He certainly is different.
Oh my God, he's different, and you know it. Washington heads to Dallas, and he's arrived. It's beautiful. 125 on the West Coast for America's game of the week. Washington laying 1.5 minus 127 on the money line. Dallas plus 107. 55 is the total. Dan Quinn revenge. Period. Also not going to take the Cowboys, but if I was someone who is willing to go to that side of the aisle, I would be starting to wonder if, and I know it took a weird fluky weather fumble for them to lose that game, but I would start to wonder if this, are we starting to see cracks from this offense, or is it because Terry McLaurin hasn't been around for a while? He could be back this week.
Yeah, I think them getting Scary Terry back is going to be huge for their offense.
He's great
because it's clear. I don't think Samuel is totally healthy, and I think this could be a big Zach Ertz game. Zach Ertz is I mean, I had to look it up. I'm like, the Eagles got rid of him in what, like the 2021 season, and
it's been a while.
It felt like he was hanging on then.
Yeah.
And then he went to Arizona, and it's like, oh, still productive. Then Cliff Kingsbury went to Washington. It's like he brings along Zach Ertz. It's like, oh, okay, this is just like he's buddies with the guy. Still productive. And even this year, it's like, oh, he's got to be washed out. They even drafted Ben Sinnott like a decently high.
We haven't heard shit from him.
He's Bates is like higher on the depth chart. Just kind of interesting. Shout out to Zach Ertz, a legend. Got an autographed Ertz ball hanging up behind me. He's got a long history against the Cowboys, and I love me some Zach Ertz props. I'll probably talk more about that on the prop show, but this is a good spot for the Commanders. They're coming off a loss. They've been great against ATS off the loss. Jaden Daniels 4-2 ATS in his short career off the loss. I think this is a huge opportunity for the Redskins offense to just get it going. They need Kroksky Merritt coming off a bad game. This is your time to shine. And then Cowboys, I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic with CeeDee Lamb coming back off the high ankle sprain. Oh, and all of a sudden George Pickens was the guy, but now CD's back.
I was thinking about this earlier. This is almost the worst case scenario for Cowboys fans. George Pickens went off and thinks he's the number one, and now CD comes back and he's going to be reminded he's not the number one.
Yeah, he thinks he's the number one. Rico Dowdle just rushed for 180 yards on this Cowboys team. They have no gumption, and if we can get a little bit out of this Washington defense. And they can. I think this game could be very much a shootout. I mean, the total suggests it at 55. And to me, who has more guns in a shootout? Give me Jaden Daniels in a desperate spot. So, give me Washington laying the 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, again, Russ threw for 450 on this defense. I'd imagine there'll be just Terry McLaurin being back huge. I'm going to lay the points as well, Sean, but I am going to hedge with a little. I'm going to bet tie in this game.
Really?
Yeah, just in case, and because that would be delightful.
Yeah, that's good for everyone. Yes. Well, Cowboys already have one tie, so to have 2 ties is pretty unlikely.
Be excellent.
Give me Washington laying the 1.5. Kramer.
Yeah. Well, this was the closest I've ever been to picking the Cowboys, but I decided not for me, not today. Game 4 in the late window. Green Bay heads to Arizona. I feel like we've seen some great matchups between the Packers and the Cardinals out in the desert. Cardinals have the bye week up ahead, and they are catching 6.5 points here at home, plus 255 on the money line. Packers minus 305. 44.5 is the total. Your thoughts on? I mean, this number is basically saying we're pretty sure it's Brissett, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the market. How does the market see Jacoby Brissett? Because Jacoby Brissett played and he looked pretty good in that game. Threw for what, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Offense was on schedule, but you got some bad. You got like the bad end.
He had one bad interception. He lacks the mobility, but I don't know. I think
he plays like a guy who understands that he has limited opportunities. He's trying to make the best of all of it. I thought the offense looked more on schedule. I think more likely that we saw a little bit maybe as to why some of the receivers are struggling. And is Green Bay good? My first note here was, is Green Bay good?
Well, I think the market fell in love with their defense early on because they just locked down Detroit, and those first couple games they look really good. Even their loss to the Browns, they played some really good defense, but then they let up 40 points to Dak in a dome in that weird tie game. Their defense really let the Bengals hang around. They did not dominate the line of scrimmage, I thought, against an inferior Bengals offensive line team, and that was at home. Sure, it was against a non-conference opponent, and yeah, when they needed to, I guess they got the game, and it could be a look ahead spot. But what are they looking ahead to? This road game against the Cardinals?
No.
Yeah,
you try to make that excuse, but the Bengals game, maybe that was a little bit of a kitchen sink situation with Flacco showing up, but that was not a good look.
Per game, the Packers allowed the most receptions to the tight ends. So you want to talk about Trey McBride? I think he's going to be able to eat against this Packers defense. And you give Jacoby Brissett some easy completions to Trey McBride. It does. I'm projecting Marvin Harrison out. He had that concussion where he slammed his head on the back or his head, like the classic whiplash concussion.
Pretty bad.
He's not going to be played. But the Cardinals, even when they lose, they hang around. They've lost 4 straight games, all by 4 points or less. They're the first team to do that since the 2017 49ers. And, the Gannon and the Cardinals, they've been good ATS as dogs against good teams. Teams over 500 that they're getting points against. They're 10-6 ATS. And especially here as a home dog, maybe there's a chance they get the rookie defensive tackle Walter Nolan. He's finally at practice. That would be a fun little boost for them. I don't know if they're live on the money line, but I think this Packers team can at least make it a game. And if they don't play, if Jacoby doesn't play, they still end up being like a decent. Obviously Kyler is very good as a dog as well. So,
well, where does this number move if Kyler is the starter in your mind? For reference, in May it was Packers were 1.5 point favorites. Look ahead was 5.5.
Maybe it'll knock down to 4.5.
I think it could be more than that. But to your point, there's almost now. I don't want to get caught up with the backup quarterback was good for one game shit, but the offense certainly looked fine with Brissett.
Yeah,
and I did want to remind everyone that Sean, of course, I picked up a Josh Sweat Defensive Player of the Year ticket for 500 to 1. He does have 5 sacks. So I'm a couple stretches of him having maybe a 2-sack game here or there from having a nice sweat.
The problem is,
pun intended,
you have to be a good team to win the Defensive Player of the
Year.
So
the run is going to start, right? That's part of the sacks.
I think they're going to hang around, and maybe they are live on the money line, but I'm definitely give me Arizona plus 6.5. Kramer, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think so. Nolan is on the PUP list. So he would have to get activated.
Yeah. But we've seen a couple guys get activated.
But everything I've read is like, don't rule it out from happening this week. Less likely, but man, that would be a crazy boost. I mean, if you don't know who Walter Nolan is, he's essentially a massive defensive tackle. That's probably going to change the way their defense looks. All right.
Trevor, Cardinals fan in the chat saying fade us.
Yeah, well, people get upset.
But that's what I like. I like when fans say fade us because that's the time to hop on them.
People get upset that I'm still taking my sweet cards.
I actually like this as a non-Cardinals fan, like you are, Ryan. This is actually a good spot to take the Cardinals there plus 6.5. Also a good spot to talk about our buddies over at Underdog Fantasy. Love putting together some underdog entries where you can win up to 500 extra money. Play $5, get $100 in bonus funds when you use the promo code SGPN. And if you're an underdog state, fire it up. There are a lot of new options that you may not have seen previously. Definitely give it a look. Kramer, what do you want to do here for the underdog entry?
Well, I see I have a gimme pick.
Yeah, but that's only up to $10.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah. Sorry,
don't waste the audience's time.
No, I'll save that. I got 5 days left. I'll save that for a crazy banger Sunday morning when I get to the office at 7 a.m. like a crazy person. All right, 30% Boostober boost, and let me condense this so I can see past the Thursday night games. I mean, we've had a couple systems.
Okay.
One of them did not come in last week, but we could fade Achan against the Browns.
Oh, okay.
It's 61.5 rushing yards. It's 95.5 if we want to go rush and receiving yards.
I'm down fading his rushing yards.
Okay, 61.5
lower 61.5 on Devin Achan. What about Trey McBride? I think he's going to have a huge game, especially with no Marvin Harrison.
61.5 also for his receiving yards.
I think you can't make it high enough.
They don't have receptions open yet. I'm with you. I could go yards. I could go touchdown.
Yeah,
I guess touchdown.
Give me Trey not touchdowns.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You don't like.
Oh, he doesn't score many touchdowns.
That's harder for him. I'm with.
I don't know. Whatever. It's this weird thing. Trey McBride higher 61.5 receiving yards. Devin Achan lower 61.5 rushing yards. $100 entry returns you $300 unless you're getting a nice little boost here.
Oh, Boostovers for everyone, I assume 30%.
Yeah,
and it's unlimited. You got to just use it.
So yeah, with Boostober, it's up to 3.6x the multiplier. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Good buddies over at Rhythm. Of course, helping us out with the Monday night props is always fun. Thursday night props, any sort of props, they got you covered. Always pulling up my Rhythm app anytime I'm doing some research. They got us on the Adunze over. That was a nice hit. Thank you, Rhythm. Very fun. And let's see what they like in the National Football League.
I was going to say, you want something?
Sure. What do you got?
Well, I guess this is more of my model, but Debbie, who I won't disclose what Debbie looks like or what her sliders are set to, but Debbie likes the Panthers.
Really? Okay, Debbie.
Debbie thinks the Panthers should be minus 2.8. So,
well, yeah. I mean, any sort of metrics you're looking at, the Jets are bad, bad, bad. And of course, download the Rhythm app. Use the promo code SGPN25. Build your own models and track your picks in there. Track 5 picks in any model you use for a chance to win $1,000. That is Rhythm, RITHMM, promo code SGPN25.
All right, moving on along. We got the Sunday night football game, 5:20 kick here on the West Coast. The Atlanta Falcons, coming off that Monday night victory against the Bills, now take on the San Francisco 49ers in the Bay. Niners laying 2, minus 128 on the money line. Falcons plus 108. 47.5 is the total. I think the move look ahead was 4.5. Sean, I think some of the move here is health concern. I think the other bit of the move is Falcons defense might be good.
Yes,
we touched on this at the top of the show. I don't think too many people had Jeff Ulbrich as a potential assistant coach of the year, and he's clearly got things going. I was even looking at the numbers, Sean. Walker and Pierce are not necessarily crushing it either.
Yeah,
with the pressure stats. So it's just collectively he's got these guys playing. I don't know what to think about the Niners here.
Well, and they're still dealing with a ton of injuries. Kittle doesn't seem like he's going to be back. Do you think Brock Purdy plays?
So you don't think Kittle's going to play?
I didn't. What I heard, I didn't think Kittle was going to play, but who knows?
Because Kittle's a maniac too.
Yeah.
But the way I read it was Pearsall.
Now he is practicing, so maybe he does give it a go.
Pearsall is definitely not going to play.
Yeah.
I do think that, like, if I had to bet or set odds on George Kittle playing, I would say it's like minus 150, maybe minus 200.
Okay. So Kittle plays.
That matters to me. I think we coming into the season said Kittle was going to be an important piece of this offense.
Yeah.
He's a blocker. He also is dynamic in the pass game. I think we're going to see a game plan where they just stack it up and run the ball down the Falcons' throat and make them prove it. Let's see how that run. I mean, the Bills. If you were to be critical of the Bills, they forgot about their run game like they often do. So if I'm the Niners, I think they come out and we see the best of their run game in this game. We see a classic Kyle Shanahan coach him up,
but they haven't been able to get Christian McCaffrey going on the ground. He's obviously having a great year receiving, and that plays right into the Falcons' hands. Falcons have only allowed 69 receiving yards to the running back in 5 games. Now, certainly,
I think that's going to change after this one too.
Okay, certainly Christian McCaffrey is probably better pass catching running back than some of the guys they've said. And
James Cook had 0 targets. That almost feels impossible.
Yeah. Well, I think this Falcons defense is very good.
Yeah, you've been on it. You were on them sooner than I was. I thought a lot of it was backup quarterback bullshit. But what they did against the Bills last week, you have to notice.
Now the case against the Falcons, I think, is fairly decent, right? They're a dome team outdoors at Levi's Stadium. San Francisco coming off a loss, Falcons coming off a big win.
Yeah, what you said about the Saints, kind of.
Yeah, similar thing where there is a difference, home and road. I mean, you see with the Panthers as well. These NFC South teams aren't quite the same team away from, but on the other side, the 49ers have been very bad at home.
Very hurt too.
Yeah, very hurt. 7-4, 14 ATS. And I know it's kind of reflected in this number, but the number went, I think the look ahead was what, 3.5?
4.5.
4.5. So you lose your best player on defense. There were 2 returning defensive starters for the 49ers, Bosa and Warner. Bosa was already gone. Now Warner's gone, and it moves 2.5 points in your favor. That to me is crazy because Fred Warner is a difference maker. He's the one that was keeping this defense afloat.
No, it moved against them.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It moved a lot.
Yes.
So yeah, you're right to point out how critical he is to the defense.
So it is baked into the number. That being said, this defense, it didn't move enough. All right. This defense is gonna be bad, man.
Look ahead 4.5, reopen 3.5, bet down to 2.
Ryan, there's only one San Francisco quarterback that is above 500 ATS at home in the last decade. Who is that quarterback? For the 49ers, This decade. So last 5 years.
Jimmy G?
No.
Colin Kaepernick?
No. He did not play in this decade.
You're right. Wait, it's been that long?
Yeah.
My God, we're getting old.
I mean, you may have been confused by the reports of he's ready to play.
Oh, Brock Purdy.
No.
Oh, you're talking about the Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, I don't know who's the guy.
Trey Lance.
Oh, wow.
Trey Lance 2-0 ATS. Only quarterback above 500 ATS.
When I said Colin Kaepernick, that's what I meant.
He's the guy that the internet says should be playing, but isn't playing.
Yeah. Why is the NFL keeping this guy out of the league? What's going on?
Yeah. Trey Lance needs to hire a different agent, right?
Can we look into this?
Can I get the Colin Kaepernick agent? Well, I mean, if I'm Trey Lance's agent, I say, Trey, start kneeling, bro. I mean, come on. We gotta make a narrative for why you're not playing. Trey Lance is the number 2 pick overall, and he's not starting.
I mean, the Niners are just they're behind. They're behind the cabal. Keep these guys out of the league.
I get it.
The best is, you know what we're gonna get in about maybe November, December. We're gonna get that report from some troll national reporter who says that he is healthy and training and looking forward to an NFL tryout. Colin Kaepernick, that is. I mean, all right. So we're both on the Niners.
What? No, I'm on the Falcons here +2. What are you doing, Ryan? I've listened to your whole thing. I have no idea.
What do you mean? I've laid out that I think we're going to see Atlanta take to the road on a short week.
Okay.
And the Niners are going to dial up the best run game plan they've had because Kittle's back.
Okay.
I think that matters. And I think they're aware of the fact that they haven't done anything with McCaffrey, and it's going to have to. It's now or never. And again, I'm still not fully buying. I think the Bills kind of played into the Falcons' hands. They didn't really try to establish the run. They didn't really try to get their running backs involved in the passing game. And I think
then they turned over Josh Allen.
Josh Allen looked horrible. So
who do you think starts, Purdy or Mac Jones?
I think it's Purdy.
Okay, so Purdy.
I think Purdy was close last week.
Purdy coming back on dealing with turf toe that he re-aggravated is something I want to fade.
Okay. I think probably both quarterbacks, whichever I said there, you would have had a good angle as to say the same.
Yeah,
outcome.
that's why I'm fading him.
And
you're right.
And I look forward to
Mac
fading
Jones or injured. Yeah, you said that last week.
Yeah, and I that was at home. I was wrong. I got to realize he can do enough at home with his weapons, but on the road, no, thank you. Lay it with San Francisco.
You're crazy.
What do you mean I'm crazy? I'm not even a fan of San Francisco. That's how you can tell this is a good pick. I don't like either of these teams, honestly.
No, you're just stuck in your hater mode of Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Every time he throws a pass, he threw for like 2-something against the Bills at home.
Bills
and
defense
wins,
sucks,
and you still couldn't give him any credit.
No,
couldn't even give him a good game.
His release is ridiculously slow. 4 p.m. We got a doubleheader on.
But they can't get a pass rush without Bosa. It won't matter.
We got a doubleheader.
You missed the left tackle injury, Ryan, for the Falcons. It's on your case for the 49ers.
I mean, sure, but I think the bigger case is purely just a fade of this Falcons team away from home.
That's fair.
Not on turf.
But I would take the 49ers if they weren't so bad ATS at home.
It's a short number though. That's always my pushback on the Shanahan as a favorite. It's just less than a field goal. What are we talking about? Doubleheader on Monday night, but let everyone know who's close to you that the first game starts at 4 p.m. on the West Coast. It's the Bucks and I think we've come to the conclusion that we don't need 2 games on Monday night, but this is definitely the better format. Although our show has to be later, this is the better format than having 1 at 4 and 1 at 5. That doesn't make sense for anyone. Make them island games. Bucks at Detroit. Detroit has a bye week in week 8, Sean. So they're looking ahead to that. Detroit laying 5.5 here. Great pirate ship logo for the Bucks from Colby. Minus 240 on the money line. Bucks plus 205. 52.5 is the total. I've never seen that Detroit Lions logo in my life. I mean, this is where it's like he just finds like kindergarten art. Now, this matchup's very intriguing to me. I think on one hand, Detroit it's not when they choose to not run the ball, but when they can't run the ball, Detroit has had problems. We've seen this Tampa team play this Detroit team well in seasons past. And I think at some point you have to realize that Baker is just on one.
Yeah.
Like we were at the dice table last week, Sean.
We were on one.
And things were just going. They were flowing. And you come to the table like those guys at the other end, you start betting don't pass, you're just going to get cleaned out. So the combination here of I expect Todd Bowles to have a good game plan to go against Detroit's running attack. I expect Mike Evans to be back, allowing a just delightful matchup. The anytime touchdown better be minus 125 or we're getting tremendous value because
no, it's going to be like plus 125.
No, I know. I'm just joking. The Lions secondary is out of control, banged up.
Brian
Branch, who, if I'm being honest, bro, the fact that you let Juju get under your skin and then you said he's bullying you, kind of a bitch move. I like Brian Branch as a player. He's supposed to be some sort of enforcer. But saying that someone was bullying you out on the field and
you're an NFL player. What are you, Richie Incognito? They're bullying me. You're 300 pounds. Stand up for yourself, Rich.
Well, he did.
They were sending mean texts. Well, and then unfortunately there was one day where Richie Incognito stood up for himself. Google that story. It's crazy story.
I would say Richie Incognito is a tough one because while the things they said about him around the bullying case may have been false, there were other moments in his life that are true. I'll leave it at that. Great guy though. I see he's doing content now, like everyone else, trying to get into the game. So yeah, I mean, I think you have Baker who's shown he can throw to anyone, especially against a banged up secondary in Detroit. Surprised at how well the Detroit pass rush has been playing. I think that could play a factor in this game, but Yeah, I mean Todd Bowles stops the run.
Yeah.
He says, beat me another way. When maybe they can. Maybe Jared Goff at home can, under the lights can. Early kick in Detroit. Are we worried about that? Will the crowd be ready?
Will they be drunk enough?
Not as much time. Do we have a moon handicap, Sean?
I'll look into that.
Okay.
Our buddy Big Balls at the Circus, huge Lions
Tune
fan,
into Beeson on Friday,
and always has a good Mooney handicap. To me, it starts and ends with what are the Lions? Everything you heard coming out of that Lions game. Oh, we got to run the ball. We got to establish the run. Got to run the ball. Well, you're going up against the Bucs. That's the best thing they do defensively. Slow down the run. 5th in the league in yards allowed to the running game, 88.2 yards per game. Now, what is kind of scary is the Lions are great in prime time. Lions against the loss have been great. Goff and Campbell 20-8 ATS. That's a great angle. But I would say to that, some of that I think was, it took a long time, and I was probably guilty of this at moments of myself of like, I got to see it from the Lions. So they were getting favorable numbers, favorable spots, but now it's gotten to the point where they're getting, in my mind, maybe a little too much respect. They were only catching 2.5 points against the Chiefs. I thought that number was a bit short considering their secondary injuries. Now you're dealing with Brian Branch on top of it. Baker as a dog. I mean, this guy, what does this guy have to do to get respect? And clearly he thrives on motivation spots. And I can just imagine Todd Bowles going to him, Baker, they're giving you 5.5 points. They don't believe in you. Do you not? Baker showed up against the Lions in the playoff game. Now Lions ended up getting the win in that, but then he had that regular season upset. He's hung around in Detroit. Certainly, I would be shocked if they get their ass kicked in this game. And you tell me Mike Evans is coming back. Now, certainly, am I worried that he doesn't have his boy out there? Yeah, that's going to be a little worrisome. But no, Brian Branch, the ability for the Bucs to stop the run, that to me is super favorable for the Bucs. You give Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, an offensive line that seems to just figure it out, and you give him 5.5 points. That's crazy. Give me the Bucs all day.
Yeah, it's revenge for that playoff game. I mean, what are we talking about, right?
Yeah.
Does that count? Are we counting that as revenge?
Oh, that was the last time they played, right? Like, what was it? He beat him in the regular season, and then
they won 20-16 regular season, and then they lost 31-23 in the playoffs.
But again, watching that game, they were never out of that game.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
Baker keeps receipts. Remember how pissed off he was that interim head coach led to his dismissal?
Steve Wilkes, who has been a dreadful defensive coordinator.
Steve Wilkes is like, why are you coming at me? I didn't want to get rid of you. He had a great comeback. He goes, I don't think the interim head coach has that much power. If I did, I wouldn't have traded away Christian McCaffrey, our best player. Just a great counter.
Yeah. So I guess we're both on the Bucs here.
Yep. Bucs plus 5.5.
I will say this was another one where I default routed, but I was thinking about Detroit. This feels like the kind of game where either the Bucs are going to dominate at the line of scrimmage, stop the run, and win the game outright, or Detroit has no issue dealing with that and just is able to pass all over him. So take Baker. He seems to be on one, not getting in the way of that. 7 p.m. the late Monday night game, which again, I think I like this better than the overlapping Monday night doubleheader. Houston off their bye, taking on Seattle, who's looking to their bye. Seattle laying 3 -165 on the money line. Houston plus 145. 41 is the total. I don't know, Sean. What do you got for this one?
All right.
Why? This is another one where I don't like where I landed.
Okay. Well, I'll say this. I like that. I mean, I kept looking. So Seahawks were an interesting team. To me, they're almost going to be like an every other week team. They show up, they don't show up. I know dogs in prime time have been doing well. Maybe they do for regression, but again, stuff like that, where it's like it's completely unconnected in my mind. A strong away and home trend, like we see with the Seattle Seahawks, I think there might be something to that. I can't explain it, but the Seahawks team is much worse ATS at home than they are on the road. They're 3-9 ATS at home in the Mike McDonald era. Now, what else do we have here? Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold. Where does he? If he makes a mistake, it's at home and it's against a good defense. And I think this Texans team, the defense probably still not getting the respect they deserve. Ryan, as a Jags fan, you kept yelling at them, just slow down JSN, just whatever you do, slow down JSN. I like D'Amico Ryans with 2 weeks plus looking at this Seattle offense going, hey, all I got to do is slow down JSN. I think I can do that. I think they can do that with their secondary. So this to me is leaning in to the Texans defense. The Texans defense, I know their offense has really struggled, but they've only allowed 12.2 points per game, fewest in the NFL this year. I think we might see a few wrinkles for this offense coming out of the bye. And on top of it, this was a tough travel spot for Seattle, going all the way down to Jacksonville, now all the way back to Seattle. Now, normally Seattle, they want to run the ball, and that I guess is a point of weakness for Houston. They're not awesome at stopping the run, but I think the Texans have the secondary to slow down JSN and turn over Sam Darnold. That to me is going to be the difference. So, so I think this is a great spot for the Texans here. I'm just never going to take the Seahawks at home, especially as a favorite, until I kind of see a different version of the Seahawks. Whatever it is, the home field isn't helping them. It seems to hurt them. So give me the Texans +3. I think there's some 3.5s out there if you're playing Houston. So
are you worried about the D'Amico Ryans looking ahead to San Francisco spot?
Not really, because they need a win. They're a desperate team. Seattle is feeling pretty good about themselves. Oh, they just beat the Jags. They're hanging around in the division.
What the main thing that has, because all right, so counter to your point on, this Seattle offense, passing offense is number 1.
Yes,
according to DVOA. So I don't think they have to run the ball. I think whatever Kubiak has cooked up,
they like running the ball.
They would prefer to have a little bit of a run game, but when it's not successful, they just let Sam Darnold air it out. So you're relying on the Texans to. I think you have to make some noise. You have to get home. They haven't exactly had the pass rush this year. It's been mostly just the DBs, which I suppose you could talk yourself into. Well, if they were able to cover, maybe we get some pressure. But I'm gonna go against the Seattle home road thing, because I think their defense is just too good. I don't know how Houston scores points. We're only a couple weeks away from thinking about this Texans offense like they can't do anything. And really, why was our opinion changed? Well, they had a couple
coming out of the bye.
Well, they're certainly coming out of the bye.
They lit up the Ravens team, so I think that was a nice confidence builder.
Sure, but that Ravens defense is complete ass, and so I guess what I'm saying is, we saw them score some points against Tennessee and Baltimore, and then they went to their bye. And before that, we were like, can this team even score touchdowns? And so that's where I'm worried. I'm going to take Seattle because I do think they have an elite defense. And if I'm betting on,
I think Houston's defense is better.
And I am fully. I rewatched the game against Jacksonville because I wanted to see that game was.
I think you're upgrading Seattle a lot because you like the Jags.
No, that's what I'm going to say. I think Trevor Lawrence lost them that game by a mile.
Yeah,
but where I was wrong, they were trying to guard JSN. They were absolutely trying to bracket, double cover, have 2 guys staring at him, and it didn't matter. That's the part I like here. I don't think they're going to be able to lock him up with Stingley. I like Darnold in this matchup, and I do think there's a little. I know D'Amico's on a little bit of a hot seat, but having that San Francisco game on deck matters. Give me the Seattle Seahawks, and we'll see if I can continue to just be wrong about this team.
Yeah, you keep taking them at home and fading them on the road. It's the opposite.
Defense is good. This CJ Stroud has not shown me anything, and I'll be honest.
Yeah, but CJ Stroud's one of your blind spots. He's on your hate list.
The new Applebee's commercial featuring CJ Stroud.
You immediately go, he sucks in this Applebee's commercial.
He's so bad.
Shador sucks. Michael Penix sucks.
Yeah.
Shador sucks.
I haven't had a chance to see him suck yet at an NFL level.
But he sucks.
I know he sucks. Yeah, I do know he sucks. Jackson Dart does not suck.
No, Jackson Dart's good. All the other quarterbacks shitty.
Yeah.
So I'm on Houston +3. Kramer laying the 3 with the Seahawks.
And that concludes again, Baltimore, Buffalo on bye. Reminder, doubleheader on Monday night. One starts at 4 p.m. on the West Coast. One starts at 7 p.m. on the West Coast. And we have a 6:30 a.m. game on Sunday. My God.
Time for the Lock Dog and Tease.
Happy birthday.
Presented by mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Kramer, what do you like? What are your locks? What are your dogs? What is your tease?
So is this me going back to me going first?
Yeah,
based
mix
on
it up.
recent performance.
I mean,
I had a suggestion.
I'm doing good on the picks. I just can't. The locks are.
Well, I had a suggestion.
Sure.
What if we go one at a time? I go a lock and then you go a lock.
Okay, dueling locks. All right.
And then I go a dog, or like we go
right.
back and forth like a draft.
Okay. Snake draft.
A couple of spots seemed on the more obvious side. Now that we're doing this like a draft, let me see, which game do I want to definitely take first? Yeah, I think a number of these games stood out to me, but Tennessee +7, going right back to the back road spot, very difficult to overcome. So let's lock up the Titans with my first pick.
I like it. I like the Tennessee spot there. Let's see. For me, my first lock. Give me the Chicago Bears laying the 5. I think this is a good matchup for them. I'm buying into Caleb Williams against that defense. Kramer, what is your second lock?
I think there's some breaking of gambling rules here, but Cleveland Browns at home, even though we're laying a number, this one immediately stood out to me.
It's a little scary, but I agree. I mean, Cleveland is they're in a good spot.
Here's what I think, and you're going to say I'm a Shador hater, even though it's not related to the backup quarterback. I think Dylan Gabriel's going to have a decent game. I think against this Miami defense,
I think he's going to have the best game of his career.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
The two other spots were much harder, so I don't think he's going to be worse than what we've seen.
He's gone against Flores and Tomlin.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Now he's going against nothing.
Lock number 2 for me: Tampa Bay Bucks +5.5. Come on. Kramer, what's your third lock?
Third lock, man. Give me Herbert. I think he's going to be able to sling the rock against the Colts here.
Yeah, the scary part about that is Jonathan Taylor, but I'm obviously on the Chargers with you. For me, my third lock. Oh man, are we getting cute with the Raiders? I do think the Raiders hang around in that game.
No,
you know what? I'm gonna go Arizona +6.5. That doesn't
feel right.
What do you mean?
You taking Arizona?
Why? I think Green Bay's.
Kyler, I guess.
I think Green Bay's defense is a little overrated. I don't know if they're a 6.5 road favorite, and Jonathan Gannon is still pretty fired up. So I saw a nice effort from them against the Colts, to the point where I'm like, all right, as home dogs, I think they can make this a game. But you know what? Actually,
late swap. It's legal. We haven't moved on to the next play yet.
Yeah, you know what? Because I got to use. I went dogs here, and I'm actually gonna. You know what? I'll go Broncos. Ryan -7. They slow down the mobile quarterback. I realize I have to use one of the dogs for my money line dog. Kramer, what's your money line?
Did you just
dog?
lock up the Broncos?
Yeah.
Horrible.
Kramer, I can
hurting right now.
I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice. You're not sold on the.
You're hurting. Come on.
What's your money line dog?
Terrell making fun of our locks. All right, money line dog. Come on, Jags in London. They're a home team in London.
Okay.
No Puka. Big problems. Jags get it right.
Jacksonville on the money line. We're calling it at what? +132.
+132.
And for me, Falcons are interesting. They're a little too short. There's not a lot of big dogs. Titans, I'm with you, but it's hard to get there as the outright win. Although maybe that's the play. Survivor's going to be crazy this week. I will go with Arizona on the money line. I think they're live in this matchup against Green Bay as a home dog +225. Give it to me. Shock the world. I think Green Bay is just a little asleep at the wheel. Kramer, what do you like for your tease?
A lot of great opportunities. We're going to tease The Raiders up to 17.5.
Okay.
We're going to tease the Saints up to 11.
Okay.
And we're going to tease the Cardinals up to 12.5. Check that. We're going to tease the Bucks up to 11.5.
Do believe in the Bucks as well.
Look at that teaser I just laid.
It's a beautiful teaser. First up, give me the Atlanta Falcons up to 8 points. It's a great tease by me. Give me Cincy up to 11.5. Tomlin's not covering 11.5 on the road. Division Thursday night game. Are you crazy? And give me the Texans up to 9.
I will give you an opportunity to swap that Thursday night game off your teaser card.
I like it. All right. So for our Circa Millions, Tennessee plus 7.
God, this card is going to be one of the grossest we've ever.
Cleveland minus 2.5. I'll do Chicago minus. All right, Cleveland minus 2.5.
This is a diabolical.
Chicago minus 5. Tampa Bay plus 5.5. And Chargers, since we both like the Chargers at 1.5. I'll leave the Broncos out, Ryan, because I know you don't want to go against.
You're just that's just you're projecting. You're projecting.
No, clearly. Now,
yeah, you're just. It seems that way.
Now we do have officially our Circa Millions is Tennessee plus 7, Cleveland minus 2.5, Chicago minus 5, Bucks plus 5.5, Chargers minus 1.5. Kramer, his locks are the Titans, the Browns, the Chargers. My locks are the Bears, the Bucks, and the Broncos. Moneyline dogs, Jags for Kramer, and Arizona Cardinals for me. Kramer, real quick thoughts on Survivor. So we do have one bonus Survivor entry that we have been cooking up with our buddy Daps.
Do we know
pack breaking fame?
Do you have the teams that we have taken?
I can pull that up.
So I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, I will pull that up. But who would you guess that you like in Survivor? Because it's weird. All these big favorites, I could kind of make a case for them on the money line. To me, it's maybe we just take the Chiefs and don't think about it. But
Chiefs play on Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's the
this week more than any. I kind of want to. I would say that we've been tickled by Daps's. We haven't gone with Daps's suggestions really.
No, we've gone
with
every
a couple.
time.
No, we've gone with a couple, but we've also kind of helped steer the ship a couple times. This week, there's warts on every one of those big favorites.
So we've used Broncos, Cardinals, Seahawks, Bills, Lions, Packers. So we can't even use the Packers, which is good. We can't use the Lions or the decent sized favorite.
Isn't this the Browns week? I mean,
yeah. I mean, if we want to go onions plays, Browns. I mean, I like the Bears, but I guess you don't. Panthers.
I could see someone.
Panthers.
I'm certainly not going to push. Panthers would be. It's a road team. I guess you're trying to avoid that. You'd like. So I for that reason.
Browns are at least at home. Okay.
Browns are at home. The Bears are at home. I'm not going to push back hard again. I mean, I would say this. I know there's a lot of controversy out in the social media streets about pick tracking and what's a pick and what's not a pick. I'm picking the Saints. The amount of money that would be wagered on the Saints is about we'll say 25%, 10% of what I'm going to be putting on my sweet Jags money line. Put it that way, or even the Titans. So yeah, I'm not going to push back against the Bears. I think it's a fine candidate.
Okay. So maybe we pitched him Bears, Browns. I don't know. Other than that, I think we got to go ugly here.
Chargers.
Oh, Broncos also are in a really good spot. 7-point favorite at home.
What part of that is what part of coming home from London after
teams have
playing
done
a
well
horrible game against the Jets?
Yeah, it's the ultimate get right spot against your New York Giants.
I understand. You're not seeing it. You're not seeing it because you're hurt right now. You're worried.
Pats for Survivor. I do think
the worst case scenario could happen, Sean.
I do think Daps will pitch the Pats, Ryan. And I guess I would have I would have trouble talking him out of it because Vrabel is so much invested in this game. It does feel like they're going to get the win.
So the future,
but I don't think they cover.
So the future value conversation would be you like them.
The problem is the Pats, I think, are probably slightly better than I expected, and we might have some better spots for the Pats. And it's a third road game spot.
The reason you take them now, I guess, would be that if they do get banged up, as we've mentioned, they have a thinner roster. I think you still have moments where they host Jets. They still host Cleveland next week. There's definitely better spots for the Pats. I think that would be my pushback. You have the Giants on Monday night. If you like Sean, don't see Jackson Dart yet.
Yeah.
So they definitely have obvious future spots. Someone like the Browns, I don't see too many future spots because eventually they're going to put Shedeur in, and that's going to be a disaster.
No. Not like they've just Dylan Gabriel lighting up the league though.
Well, he's going to. This is going to be like tune into the prop.
To me,
show,
it's not about Dylan Gabriel. It's about Judkins, and it's about their run defense.
Yeah, but he's going to be able to pass the ball because the running game's working.
Yeah, he's going to dink and dunk to the tight ends. I don't think it's going to be an electric Dylan Gabriel performance, but it'll look better than he looked the previous 2 games.
He's going to be the more electric lefty quarterback on the field.
Well, fading the Dolphins does feel pretty good. All right, Ryan, do you have the points spread song ready to go? For maximum mojo.
But let me make sure I have the volume turned on.
And appreciate everyone tuning in. As always, we'll be back talking NFL props 2:00 tomorrow. Make sure you check that out. And of course, appreciate everyone. Smash that subscribe button, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Answering all our questions and comments over on Spotify. Toss us 5 stars while you're over there. And of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money grain. He's Ryan.
Enjoy.
Kramer. Let it ride.
The spread. I bet my last time in I'm waiting with dread. Oh Lord, please help me cover the spread. It's not my parlay card. The odds are fine. They made a first down. My team is trying to go downtown. Oh Lord,
rubbed on me tonight.
Me cover the spread. My bookies chase me around the block.
And to
Bill collectors are calling me around the clock.
Quarterback.
I gamble all night. My eyes are red. The dice are alright. And I got poker in my head.
You know I'm a degenerate.
Please help me cover the spread.
You know I'm a degenerate.
Time is running
I want
down.
better fucking
Let's
execution.
make a first down. I need some luck to make a buck. Oh Lord, we're a point behind. Let's come from behind. Let's go ahead and give me a touchdown. Oh Lord, please help me cover the spread. It's 4th down, the goal line is just ahead. They scored a touchdown and covered the spread. They scored a touchdown and covered the spread. Oh Lord, thank you so much. My rent is paid. Oh Lord, I love you so much. We covered the point spread. We covered the point spread. We covered the point spread. We covered